target from our visit to Brazilian to see how can we make a good player in the supply chain for the importing and exporting products to Brazil. How can we increase the higher value chain for your products? That's what we are looking forward at, to cooperation, to bring the Brazilian government or Brazilian businessmen to establish their logistics center and they do some added activity for this product instead of to export it as a raw material, to do some activity to increase your higher income from the value chain. As I see here from Arab Brazilian chamber here, they are really very active chamber I have ever seen. They are working professionally, they have a team, and I think through this team, with some connection with us, we could have a good study for the idea we think about. So I believe that they give us a good chance, and we are ready to cooperate with them, with their teams, with their professionals, to make the study help our trade between Egypt and Brazil.
Today we are invited to make a small presentation to give an idea, a picture what happened in Egypt now, because actually Egypt have now a huge change happened. We want to attract a lot of investors from the world, and actually we have a very good opportunity here in Brazil, because we are realized that Brazil facing the problem regarding the long supply chain for the Brazilian trade. So why we are thinking to establish some cooperation between each other, between the Brazilian industry and Brazilian trade in SC zone, to reform and generate a new something, adding a value to Brazilian supply chain by investing in SC zone. That's why we are here today.
The Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce has an essential, fundamental task, which is to bring forward the relevant and important information, because today, those who make the decisions are broken down into two groups: the people who, in fact, make the decisions, and the people who provide them with the important information. That is, those who influence the decision makers. And that is our purpose, in a way, to have access to all of this essential and important information, as I said before, is the first step. Because, without this, the market would remain stagnated. The market would remain stationary. Big businesses and investors would have no idea of what is happening. So I recommend that all of you watching this be sure to keep yourselves updated with our activities, whether through the website or through our channel, because we always have news, and, as I said before, without that information, it would be very difficult to make important decisions. To those whose jobs is to make these decisions, they would not be able to perform their duties as effectively.
Ele nem pode executar o próprio trabalho.
Essa reunião foi muito importante.
This gathering was very important because we brought the Vice Minister of the Suez Canal, which is a new free trade zone in Egypt, especially to highlight the advantages of this economic region. We know how important this is to Egypt, how significant it is for Egypt's economy, and how it can be a new project for Brazilian companies, where they establish themselves there and use this zone as their hub, especially for Africa and other nations. We were impressed by their presentation and by the fantastic structure that they are working on, the proximity, as well as the international trade agreements that Egypt is currently part of. For instance, they are part of a free trade agreement with the European Union, which translates into advantages for Brazilian companies that establish themselves in Egypt. They can benefit from this agreement and export their products to the European Union, as well as other Arab countries. All in all, This was an excellent meeting, a small gathering with some of the most prominent companies in terms of logistics, and companies that wish to invest in Egypt. We already have 2 Brazilian companies that have a presence there. The first, Marco Polo, is on the Suez Canal. The second is a fertilizer and chemical product company in Alexandria. I believe that the purpose of the Arab-Brazilian Chamber of Commerce is to motivate and also increase the number of Brazilian investors in Arab countries.
Brasileiros também nos países árabes.